If I wake up in the middle of the night one more time, I truly believe I will pull out the hair atop my head that I do not have because I'm bald. What is it about perimenopause at the intersection of sleep that we just do not get any? And I know everyone is different. I know that the symptoms of perimenopause manifest in a host of ways. And yet one of the common symptoms is a lack of sleep. And a lack of sleep impacts so many things. You know, and we shall see how this lands with people. We're all different. A lot of time as women get older, as men and women get older, it's often said that a man becomes more distinguished in his looks. Somehow he just becomes more distinguished, while a woman begins to look older. You know, she begins to look old. That's the thing. And I want to peel that back and say, if you're not getting any sleep, it's very hard to look youthful. If you're not getting any sleep, the face begins to change, the energy levels begin to change, and so changes change. So what are we doing? What am I doing, shy of pulling out my hair, to reclaim myself at night when it's time to be asleep, particularly having to wake up early in the morning? What are some practices? And you know, here's the thing. I don't know that there are any. I don't know that there are any practices that will truly allow me to sleep through the night, or you. So the practices become, how do I meet my ever-changing self? How do I meet myself with the lack of sleep, with the changing of my appearance and energy level due to a lack of sleep? And where might the pillow of grace be that I could lay my head on and at least hold my feelings, my thoughts around these changes? Because there are many things out of our control, but again, we can control how we choose to respond. And that's not easy when you're operating on fumes from a lack of sleep. When you notice the changes of your mood, including your patience, your energy level, because again, you're tired, maybe fatigued, a little irritable. That's hard to be with. So if we cannot shift that, how might we shift how we're meeting it? I don't know that I have an answer for that. I think what I have to offer is something that sounds a bit like, I feel you. I get it. I completely understand. We are in this together. And if you have something in your bag of tricks that you want to extend, yes to that. Of course, some people say, well, you know, there are a host of medications. Some people take magnesium. There are a variety of things. And what I also hear is, at the end of the day, it kind of isn't as effective because sleep is still interrupted. So how might I train my mind to not latch on to the intensity of a lack of sleep? For example, I didn't get the best of sleep last night. So I can spend my time commiserating with myself. Oh my God, this is just terrible. This isn't going to work. I can go down that rabbit hole, right? We've all been there. You might be there right now trying to pull yourself out. And maybe this is helping you. Right? So I can choose to do that, or I can choose to acknowledge it like, whoo, not getting sleep is hard. Something has to give. Right? That's naming it. That is, and it's compassionate. I'm extending myself some compassion. And it's true, like that's hard. This cannot continue. Then what I start to do is open myself up to sort of the infinite possibilities, to be available to listen, hear, and absorb any information that might help create a shift. Because again, I don't have the answer in this moment, but that doesn't mean that the answer will not show up in some moment if I remain available, especially if I am not going down the rabbit hole of how terrible it is to not sleep. Yeah, that's terrible. And it's even more terrible to focus on how terrible it is, because then that's suffering. Now, not only did you not sleep well, but now you're spending your entire day focusing on how you didn't sleep well. And so you're missing the day and you're creating a level of misery for yourself. Let's not create the misery. Let's not increase our suffering. And let's not ignore and avoid the truth of it. The truth is, it is not a cool thing at all to toss and turn and roll over and flip the pillow and move the blanket, grab the sheet, turn over, flip the pillow, get up. You know, it's not fun. It's not fun. And then before you know it, the moment you think you're asleep, ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. As I hear the bell of the train in this moment, confirmation. Exactly. It's, that it's not a great experience at all. And yet here we are, often inside of experiences that aren't great. And so how do we meet them? With a deep breath. Maybe another deep breath if that one didn't hit the spot. Reach over and grab that glass of water and swallow into new energy. And another thing that I do is I take a nap during my lunch hour. Now, someone might say, well, maybe the nap during your lunch hour is the reason why you're not sleeping. No, perimenopause is the reason why I'm not sleeping. And you. And the nap is the thing that sustains and recharges me and gives me back to myself, like that deep breath, that inhale and that exhale. And that's important. So in this moment, may you find the inhale and exhale that sustains you, that gets you through any of the symptoms that you may be experiencing at the feet of perimenopause. And may we continue to have the words to share our experiences, particularly with our partners and family members, anyone with whom we live up close and personal, to talk about what is happening. Because not only are the symptoms affecting the person, but they're indirectly affecting those around us. Because often our behavior will change, get a little shorter, more impatient, irritable, all of the things. And so it becomes our responsibility to say, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what's happening in my life. These are some things you may notice. And this is what I need from you. We often think that people know what we need, that they're able to read our minds, especially if they've known us for a while. But guess what? We are ever changing. And in perimenopause, we are definitely changing. And not always for the better. So this becomes our opportunity to practice clearer communication and greater self-compassion. And to, again, name what we need, to say, this is what I need from you. In these moments when this is what I need. In these other moments when I'm experiencing, this is what I need. And you know what that requires? It requires that you go within and know what you need and dare to own that and express it, because that's your responsibility. You may not have the solution to getting all of the sleep you need, but you do have the ability to communicate what you need after not getting any sleep. Because that can shift and make better any given moment communication, clear communication. Clear communication. So on this day, perhaps you, like me, didn't get much sleep last night, but tonight is a new beginning. And may it find us all floating inside of the Z's. May we all get good sleep tonight.